welcome to another episode of The Architects. And today we got DJ Drewski joining us on the line. What's up, Drewski?
Hey, everything's good, man. I'm blessed. Thank you for having me.
Hey, we appreciate you coming through, man. Definitely.
Yeah, hey, before we got started, though, it's unfortunate, especially in hip hop, when you get sad news like Young Dolph. So before we even get started, I just want to, send my love and condolences to Young Dolph and his family and fans and friends and all that.
Yeah, definitely. Rest in peace.
That's unbelievable. That's surreal, man. That really is, man. I'm at a loss for words.
Yeah, no, I definitely am, because I just wasn't expecting to hear nothing like that.
Right.
But so today we got Drewski with us. So you guys might know Drewski from Hot 97 New York. You might know him from season 7 of Love and Hip Hop New York. And he also has his own show, the MVMT show.
Right.
Yeah.
So the here in New York, it's called The New Movement on Hot 97. It's a Sunday show where I play a lot of the local talent. And when I first started the show, some of the artists that you would know now, the people know, is like A Boogie. The first time he was ever on radio, his first interview was on The New Movement. Pop Smoke, Little TJ, Fabio Foreign, and the list goes on. But I'm just proud of that show because we were able to really embrace these New York City talent and these New York City artists and get them to the superstar status that they at now.
So with starting off and stuff like that, do you feel that being like on Love and Hip Hop New York, do you think that benefited your career?
Oh yeah, 1,000%. I know people, you hear a lot of like the negative talk about Love and Hip Hop and just with the show, the message the show gives. But for me, I was just a local DJ. Yeah, I was on Hot 97, but again, I was only DJing locally, right? New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. After the show, now I'm national. I'm even getting booked outside the country. So it's, it really builds your brand if you do it the right way. So, you get people that look crazy, that are bugged out, that do crazy stuff just to be on TV. But if you do it the right way, you can benefit from it. I tell a lot of people that, a lot of people think, they make you look crazy. They don't really make you do anything you don't want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you give them crazy, they love it. But you still got control over how you portray yourself. And I think, that's something that a lot of people that get on that show, artists too. I see a lot of artists get on Love and Hip Hop, and then you don't hear no music. You don't see nothing that's related to music. You see all the craziness, and they did that to themselves. But for me, it worked out perfect.
That's good to hear that. Especially when it works in your benefit and, see something positive come up out of it. So.
Yeah. Hey, so we're going to go back and forth with these questions. So check this out. Have you ever experienced racism in a hip hop community? And if you have, well, how'd you deal with it?
Not me personally, but the world itself, just outside of hip hop, it is what it is. Me, I didn't grow up around it. So it took me a long time to realize what racism was, right? So it wasn't until I was like an adult and I'm going on tour to different states. In New York City, we don't experience it as much as outside. And I started seeing at different shows, like I'm on tour with Mano and I'll hear like a remark. You get these little white girls. They're like, oh, my father would kill me if he knew I was at this show. And then to me, I'm like, what does that mean? And then I start realizing, oh, this shit is real. And it wasn't until years later when I left New York, when I was going to different places that I was actually experiencing it. But for me personally, growing up, it wasn't even a thought, So when I started seeing it, it's like, wow, once you start leaving your hometown and once you start traveling, you start realizing, it's real out here. So it's definitely I've experienced it, not personally, but I've seen it and it happening around me where it threw me off at times. I'm confused. But it wasn't until I left New York when I started experiencing it.
So I guess I switch around to your beginnings and stuff like that. So when you were starting off in radio, how was it working with Cypher Sounds and under Angie Martinez and Funkmaster Flex and stuff?
Yeah, so for me, it was incredible because those were the people I grew up listening to. So, you got to think leaving school, jumping in the car and you hear these people on the radio and then to be working with them and standing next to them, that's, for anybody, that's incredible. I just didn't realize that people were doing it as a career. I thought this is a hobby. They on the radio, they DJs, this is not their job. And then I realized, oh, they feed their family doing this. This is actually a career. And that's what inspired me to really jump into it. and then to be embraced by them. Like Cypher Sounds was the first person to open the door to give me opportunities. And without Cypher, I wouldn't have met Angie. I wouldn't have met Flex. I wouldn't even be at Hot 97. So I always got to take time to big up Cypher for, taking a young kid and giving me those opportunities. I was maybe like 17, 18 when I met Cypher, and I said, yo, I'm a young DJ. I'll do anything just to get on. I just need the experience. And he said, all right, cool. Go get food, drive my car, carry my backpack, open up in the club. I'm going to give you $100. So, but I appreciate that now because that's all a part of who I am and like what built me. But it's still, I still go to Hot 97 today and I still get that feeling like, wow, I'm really here. And you're talking now 12 years later and that feeling is still there. So I think it's meant to be, you know what I'm saying? When you can walk in a spot and you feel that, it's like, okay, I belong here. Like, but it's incredible. I learned so much just being around them.
That's too cool right there. Cause see, stories like that, that's what make me want to push forward and keep trying to go further what we trying to do, like, blowing up podcasts and stuff.
Of course. And then that's the new wave. Like, shout out to you guys putting a podcast together, just giving a platform to people because not everyone likes to give back in a sense. What you're doing and letting me come up here and tell my story, I appreciate that as much as you appreciate having me because there's people that listen to the podcast that might never knew who DJ Drewski was. So I appreciate it. And I think for people like us that do that give others opportunity, that's not selfish. That's how we receive our blessings. So I'm big on that. So once again, I appreciate y'all having me.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. So what did your your family, like your immediate family, think of your career?
Oh, they love it. You know what I'm saying? No one in my family did music. No one in my family was on TV. So for them, it's still like, wow, like he really did it. When they go out and they're like, are you Drewski's sister? Are you Drewski's mom? Like they understand how real it is. And the fact that I can, take care of my family by doing what I do. You know what I'm saying? I never grew up in a house that we owned. We would rent, we was renters. Now that I could own multiple homes, they realized like, oh, he took this and turned this into, a career. He really followed his dream. So I think low key, it's even inspirational for them, to see someone so close to them like me doing what I do, that it keeps them on their grind, it keeps them focused and keeps them dreaming. So that to me is important. Like it don't matter if it's family, friends, a complete stranger. If I can motivate somebody by them just listening to my story, then I did my job.
Yeah, I can feel that. That.
So what would you say is the biggest obstacle you ever faced in the game of trying to be a DJ?
I don't know. I don't look at things like obstacles, right? Because there's so much that I could say, oh, that's against me, right? I'm in hip hop. I'm in New York City, and I'm a white man in New York City playing hip hop music. Like that alone could be an obstacle if you look at it like that.
Okay.
Right? Because I'm doing these clubs, and they're like, okay, is he gonna be able to play? This is early. This is before Drewski TV, radio, all that. It's like, is he gonna be able to rock the crowd? Does he understand what we like? So that's already going against me if you don't know me personally. And I think I overcame all that. Like they understood how real I was, how committed I am to the music. And it's like, it don't matter now at what party. And one night I'm doing a Sweet 16 for a rich Jewish family. Then I'm going to a Latin crowd, killing that. And then ending the night in a straight, African-American hip hop in a hood. And I can rock out all three parties. And I think, I never looked at it as an obstacle. It was just like, it gave me motivation to really keep going. So I think I enjoyed it, to be honest. Like, no, not too many people could do 4 different type of parties, 4 different type of crowds. Usually you get kind of pigeon-toed and boxed into like, okay, he's a hip hop DJ. He's only good at this, or he's a Latin DJ. Me, I can step in the building, I'll do anything. And I think that's why, when people say, yo, what makes you different? What makes you special? I never thought about it till that. I'm like, yo, I could rock out 4 different type of parties as a DJ in one night and get the same love in every building I step into.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. That's
versatile,
yeah,
right?
Very
there,
versatile. Yeah.
Yeah, versatile. Yeah, facts.
Hell yeah. So for every all of those like that you just mentioned, the 3 different genres, do you have like for like a certain type? I'm guessing now, I'm just assuming this is all like one be like the last one you're talking about, there was a hip hop crowd, the Latin crowd would be different music. And for
like, the Latin crowd, I can still get off all the, the hip hop records. But then I gotta
Okay.
tap into the dembow records, the reggaeton records, the Spanish, bachata.
Okay.
So I gotta know
Okay.
my stuff on that end too.
Hell yeah.
And what I do love though is that hip hop has grown so much that, like I mentioned, I do like a Sweet 16, right? For a rich Jewish family. You're talking about 90% white kids, 15, 16 years old, and they love the most ratchet music you could think of. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
They
right.
want NLE Chopper, they want all the Lil Baby, the Baby. So it's like, I love the fact that the music can bring everyone together. It don't matter the color, the race, the nationality. It's like, yo, these kids, they in tune, they love it. So that's what gets me excited when I'm doing these parties. Like, yo, I can go in here and these little white kids is going crazy to the most ratchet records. Then play that same song at a Spanish party, and they do get the same reaction.
Hell yeah.
The music be versatile for sure. Like universal.
That's a fact.
Yeah. What made you come up with the name DJ Drewski?
They took Drew, which is like my real name, and actually Cypher, he just added the ski because back in the day when you add ski to stuff, it just made it cool in hip hop. So they just like goofing around saying Drewski, ski, and it just stuck. And then everyone just started calling me Drewski. I'm like, yo, it has a ring to it. We gonna run with it. And it just, everyone just kept calling me and it stuck like that.
That's what's up.
Yeah, it was nothing, no like long special story. It just happened to be like a joke that kept going.
Hey, like what's his name, man? Beanie Siegel with Kanye. He came up. He came up with the Yeezy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So what inspired you to start your own podcast, the MVMT Space? Or it's a podcast, right? Or is it radio?
Yeah, so the Movement Live is the podcast.
Okay.
The Movement Space is like where we do it.
Okay.
I had an actual studio and event space that we called the Movement Space where we, would do everything. But, like we said earlier, like the podcasting is the wave. That's where the future is. That's what, even radio stations, if you watch, are tapping into the podcast world. So, as a brand and as an artist and as we grow, it's just kind of, going with the flow. And I actually enjoy it because I have more, we could do more, you know what I'm saying? You could have more fun. It's not so, I don't want to make radio sound bad, but I could be more creative. I could be more myself when doing the podcast and having fun with it instead of just following, the radio, people forget it's a job. So there's bosses there, you got to follow certain guidelines and stuff like that. Where when podcasting, you could just go crazy and have fun with it. So I enjoy it, but that's what really made me start it.
That's the part I definitely like about podcasting. Mm-hmm. So what advice would you give somebody trying to like start off and get into radio or podcasting?
Just one, you got to go for it, right? I think a lot of times people overthink it. They doubt themselves. They look at others going on. So you could look at, well, Nori got Drink Champs. It's so big. He got Kanye on it. My show can't be like that. Like, if you realize they didn't start Drink Champs with Nori, with Kanye, they built it up. So you might not get Kanye on your show, but you could build your podcast up. You could build your brand up. As far as radio goes, it's just like labels, signing artists. They want you to come to the radio with something already, with substance. So you want to build your brand outside the radio. You want to build your following, start a platform like podcasting. Because a lot of times if your podcast is doing well, then eventually, you'll graduate to radio. So I think that's important, is just being consistent and sticking to like the plan, whatever it is. What you want to make a podcast, you want to stick to a plan. You don't want, sometimes people have a podcast and they got so much going on, you don't know what the concept of the show is. So when you stick to a certain plan and you build on it and be consistent, I think that, you really start building yourself, and those opportunities like radio, like, Spotify's and stuff, they start coming to you. And, that's what I would tell a lot of people. Just stick to the plan, be consistent, and keep going. Like, don't compare yourself to no other podcast, no other DJ, none of that. Be yourself and keep going.
Hey, that's a jewel right there, man.
Oh, for sure.
I agree, 100%. What's your two favorite genres of music? I know you did. You mentioned the different parties that you DJ'd at. What are your personal genre that you prefer?
Personally, it's probably R&B, right? Because when I'm off, when I'm in the crib or when I'm driving, I like to like calm it down. So it's definitely R&B, and then hip hop is like my heart. You know what I'm saying? I grew up on it. It's all I know. I don't, the Spanish records, I know the big ones because they're popular. I can't tell you what they're saying in it. You know what I'm saying? But
Hell yeah.
hip hop is, hip hop and R&B is like really what I'm listening to like all day.
That's what's up. What's it? This like new age hip hop, or are we talking about the 90s hip hop?
Nah, I bounce back and forth depending on the mood. Like right now in New York, the Brooklyn drill, the Bronx drill records, that's what's hot right now. And for some reason, that like I don't even work out, but if I was in the gym and I threw on a drill record, and just in life, it gets me like motivated. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so hard, talking so grimy. So right now, I think like the drill records is what is like the motivation for me when it comes to music. Because they're young kids, but they talk so tough on these records. It's like, it's just exciting. It brings like some excitement. It gets my adrenaline going. So, but I can bounce back and forth. Like it depends on my mood. Whatever mood I'm bouncing around.
Hell yeah.
See, you also got that album out, the Seat at the Table, that's out now. So so with that, are you just like getting artists and like putting them together and like kind of like, I ain't trying to compare you to DJ Khaled or nothing, but
Khaled, yeah. No, Khaled is Khaled. There's no comparing, but
right.
Definitely, Khaled wasn't the first one to do it. He's doing it on a super major level, but DJ's been producing records for years. So the concept of the artwork on Seat at the Table, I even got Khaled up there, but if you look at the background, it's like plaques, and on each plaque is different DJs that produce records, produce albums, Khaled being one of them, Drama, and it's a bunch of them, but you could go check out the artwork. But yeah, I think for this project, being it was like the first official EP that I was dropping, I wanted to work with artists that I got personal relationships with, or artists I really like rock with. So when you look at the track list and when you see like A Boogie, you see the Chef G's and Sleepy Hollows, you see Cowboy, Sada Baby, Coil Ray, like these are artists that I have personal relationships with. I didn't want to flex my muscle on some, I work for Hot 97, I could get any artist, and I don't really have a relationship with. So I wanted this, at least the first one, to be artists I rock with. And I think that was important. And I definitely, there was records that didn't make the project, but if you look at that track list and everyone on there is like, we had direct communication. We in the studio together. I handpicked them. It wasn't your favorites, none of that. It was like real, the DJ and the artist working together on this.
Hell yeah.
Hey, I respect that. Now that's real right there.
Yeah.
So what future projects are you working on?
So yeah, once that I dropped that, I was super excited. So we back in the kitchen cooking up. So I'm getting records, but I try to keep it young. Like we were speaking on a new movement, the MVMT. Mm-hmm. I want to, focus on that and continue to take the youth and take these young artists that are doing their thing and just add to it. So whether it's putting them on my album, getting them on the radio, getting them on a podcast, that's important to me. So that's pretty much the theme right now of the records I'm creating. So there's a lot of young kids, especially in New York. I don't know if you heard of the kid K Flock and B Love. They're out of the Bronx. They do the drill music. They're going crazy right now. And when I say crazy, like they drop a video and it's 1 million views in 2 days. You know what I'm saying? Real numbers. Like
right.
The kids, the schools are rocking with them. Then you got artists in Brooklyn like 26AR, the same type of wave. So I really want to focus on the young kids that are out here going crazy and just add to what they have going on.
All right, it make a lot of sense.
Ooh.
It make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Shit, I guess now we freestyle, man. Anything you want to like bring up?
Let me think what's going on, because there's so much going on right now. Actually, you know what's crazy? Because I'm so in tune. Like I get a lot of people that are locked up and in jails. They hit me up, and when they come home, like, yo, you really kept us through this bid. Like we listened to you on the radio and all the new music. You kept us in tune. So I put out there the other day. I'm like, yo, if anyone knows the warden of Rikers Island, the jail in New York, have them reach out to me, because I would love to go to the jail and put on a show for the inmates. Because I know there's a lot of artists that are locked up that, they can't perform. They're in jail. But if we gave them a platform, even in jail, to do their thing, I think that's important. Because even one of the artists, Chef G, he's locked up right now. He's one of the hottest artists in New York City. And he's sitting, in a cell. So I was like, yo, imagine we go there and take these artists. Can you imagine at the time when Bobby Shmurda and Rowdy Rebel was locked up and we're putting on shows in the jail? I just thought it was a dope idea. And I posted it on my Instagram, and so many people was like, yo, this would be crazy. This would be ill. But, it's a whole different politics when it comes to jail. But I think that's something, I don't know how you guys feel about it, But that's something I feel like would be, and it's not to reward the inmates. It's not even, it's just to bring up their morale and give them something to look for. Maybe the behavior change if they had something to, you know what I'm saying, like look forward to.
Right.
I thought it was a good idea.
Yeah, no, ain't a bad idea.
I think, like you saying, I think the politics would shut that down, but not to be negative. You know what I mean? But I think this the warden and all of that stuff. How you hear about it? I'm not a person that committed crimes, nothing like that. But I hear a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that the warden would be hating on it. That's why I would think.
Yeah, I'm like, it just got to be a certain approach to it. So they understand the purpose of it. Clearly, it's not to make no money because we're not trying to make money off of it. It's just to bring up the morale in the jails. To, if you're an inmate and you want to say, yo, I want to perform. Okay, well, if you want good behavior, you got to treat them, unfortunately, like kids. And it's like, I don't know. I just thought it was a good idea. And I got a lot of great feedback from it. So hopefully in the near future, we make something happen with that.
No, it's a very good idea. I think, something like that could, definitely. I mean, why wouldn't you want to do that? They're not making any money from it.
Right.
And that's something,
Facts. It ain't even about the money. It's just, we do this for a living. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine you could take the podcast to different places that people don't get to, touch. Right. I think that's important. But, so what's happening on your end? What's the goal now?
Man, we just working, trying to just build up our clientele, man, trying to get our work good to show, like as far as trying to, what is it? Like we trying to get the episodes up, like just more content just to show.
Right. You gotta get my brother JQ. He's from Houston. He's a heavy hitter DJ.
Oh yeah, I know who JQ is. Yeah, definitely.
We gotta get JQ on the show.
Yeah.
We got to. Might have to take your advice on that, Drewski, man. Shit.
You out in Houston, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely got to get JQ. He's our hometown heavy hitter out
there. Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely reach out to him there, man. I got to thank McDom too, because she definitely watched out for us, stuff like that. So definitely gonna shout her out.
Yeah, man. But everything is good. We just keeping busy on this side.
Yeah. Hey, it moved fast up there in New York, so I know it's probably a lot going on up that way.
Yeah, outside of the music though, I'm actually sitting in the car because we just left a midwife appointment. So the wifey is about to give birth any minute. She could go into labor right now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we really appreciate you stopping through.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, I got it, But I know you was asking what else is going on. Yeah, outside the music though, that's the first child I'm having. So it's another type of motivation. I don't know if you guys have kids, but it's definitely another type of motivation. So this next project I'm working on, you're going to feel the difference in the first one and this one.
Okay. Yeah,
that's good. Man. Hey, I know it's early congratulations, but hey, congratulations.
Yeah, definitely.
Your child isn't here yet, but
yeah.
Not any minute though.
I know. Hey, it's a beautiful thing though, because I remember my first one, so
hell yeah.
I'm gonna enjoy that.
The only thing I'm like, damn, I don't want to be in the club in the middle of a set and she hits me up, yo, let's go, it's time to go. That's the only thing.
Hey, deuces, hey, you gotta handle some business, man.
Hey, when that nature call, I feel you. It's like time to roll.
Yeah, I've been telling like all the bookings, all the promoters, like, yo, it could happen. So just giving you a heads up. Everyone been pretty cool with it. I just haven't been taking no bookings out of town, so everything is pretty. I try to stay like in that 45-minute radius from the house. But that's definitely a blessing that's about to happen. That I can feel the motivation already when it comes to like work and music. It's like no playing around now. Now I got another boss I gotta work for.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But yeah, I guess we won't hold you too long, man, and stuff like that. But
I'm here. Whatever y'all need, I'm always here. You can hit me up, call me up. We on the show.
Definitely, man. We appreciate you stopping through, man. Much love.
Hey, appreciate it, Drewski, man.
Yeah.
And for everyone tuned in, man, make sure you follow me at @Drewski. Thanks for the guys for having me. I'm gonna be back though. This ain't the first time. This is just the introduction.
That's it.
Speaking into reality. Hell yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, all right, y'all. We appreciate y'all joining this for the Architects today, and catch you later.
All right.
Wow.